It's a new puzzle for today. Just trying to have a quick look at the wiring and what's changed or likely to change. I've got a photocopy of the original wiring diagram that was in the manual, and I'll try to add on a few other bits and pieces like the push start for engaging the starter solenoid. I'm getting rid of the original key switch where that would be wired in, just trying to trace where some of the feeds are going to go for the gauges. So the fuel gauge is straightforward, the water temp is straightforward. A little bit confused because the EGTs don't seem to have any power supply, so I just got to work out how they're powered, where they work. So I think what I'm going to do actually is, because this has had so many amendments, I'm going to draw a new wiring diagram from scratch, trying to utilize all the same colors. Luckily my other half likes a little bit of colouring, so I've pinched all her felt tip pens, and we're going to try and do something which represents the dash as well at the same time, so I can see how I'm going to route things, because I'm routing the battery feeds down to the master switch down here, but then the main loom comes down the other side of the monocoque, so I can have a bit of a plan how I'm going to lay out some of this stuff behind the dash as well. So yeah, a bit of a puzzler tonight, a bit of colouring in and a bit of drawing. See how that goes. So this is how the wiring diagram was shaping up with the colourful pens, but as you can see it looks a bit scruffy, don't like it, and you can't get the detail that you need. So I've resorted to something that I use quite a bit of work, which is Visio, which I should have thought of earlier, and this is going to allow me to get all the detail I need. So this is what we're doing next. So it's the end of August, we've been away for the weekend down to Brixham, bit of mackerel fishing in the bay, which was very nice. As a result, no more work got done on the aircraft, but this parcel turned up from a very nice chap and fellow Shadow owner, so I've been excited to get it back, get myself back and open it up. So let's have a little look, see what's inside. So look at that. What I got there is a nice piano hinge. And look at that, it's the cast one. So there's no way of that pulling undone. Fantastic. Probably put that side down on the edge of the monocoque. I've got plenty of material there to stagger my fixings. And then this side will go up onto the canopy and get a good fixing on the original pot rivets there. That's really good. So there's a couple more bits and pieces in here to explore. I'm quite excited about. And I've just spotted up the end there's something else wedged in it, so I'm going to open the other end. And look at that. Piece of Fiberlam. Got a couple of little bits and pieces around the monocoque again, which I'd rather than just fill them, I can replace them. I can shape up a few bits of Fiberlam and just let them into the holes. So that's really good. So let's have a quick look, see what's in here. So he's even sent me some gloves. So I've got some filler, which is meant to be some pretty good stuff. It's lightweight and strong for filling around these bits and pieces. Got my hinge. So no excuses now, I've got to crack on with making the monocoque all nice and flush. Fantastic. That's a pint I owe you. Thank you very much. Something else that turned up whilst I was away was this length of PVC tubing with a T-piece, and the use, what this is going to be used for is to extend this tubing, which is going to go from the airspeed indicator, and we're going to split it and run it down either side of the monocoque. And I'm going to have a couple of static ports made up, which I'm going to let into the side of the fuselage just about here, and the same on the other side, and that will hopefully help the airspeed indicator read a little bit more accurately, because it's normally vented into the inside of the shadow, which causes the wrong sort of pressure difference. So if you can get the static ports on the outside around about here, I've been told, it corrects that error on the airside. So that's just another little thing that I can be doing whilst I'm refurbing here. Pop my tacho in. I'm a little bit disappointed because the second-hand tacho that I bought is a Rotax one. For a few extra pounds I could have bought a brand spanky Air Creation one, because this one's been modded slightly. You can see the edges have been rounded off to fit in the previous owner's plane. So after all this work, I'm going to fit one that's had a little bit of fettling done. But I suppose the main thing is, if I get all my electrics sorted and back, I can always change things for nice new shiny stuff as and when I feel like it and when the money allows. The main thing is that this reads the dual ignition that's on my new engine. So time to get cracking with the wet and dry. I never was all that keen that these brake cables were run up through some fairly raggedy and raw looking holes in the fibre lamp. This one was run up through where the tilt and trim switch came from. So what I've done is I've put a couple of bits of duct in just to make them look a little bit more formed, which I'm going to trim off later. And in my mystery parcel I had a section of fibre lamp. So I've taken a piece and I've shaped it up so I can fit it in there all nice and flush. I'll araldite that in, fill it, and then hopefully I can get rid of most of this, trim that all off so it's flush, and clean it all up, and hopefully our jaggedy hole will disappear. I'll do something similar on that side as well. And this is the hole on the other side. So again, a little bit of fibre lamp that I've just sort of shaped, and it allow me to make this look a little bit more like it was designed to come out of there, rather than it was just conveniently routed up through the hole where the tilt and trim was removed from. So I'll bond that in as well, a bit of filler over the top, and hopefully that will disappear, and this will all be flush as well when I'm finished. So that's that all bonded in. So I'll wait for that to dry, rough it up a bit, fill it, smooth it all back, and hopefully it'll look like it was always meant to be like that.